Okay. Everybody can see that okay? Make sure. All right. So our company's called 365 Staging, and we like our slogan, which is your complete home selling solution. And after a while, I think you'll see why we call ourselves that. So just as an introduction, my name is Dora Tam. It's actually spelled Thora, but pronounced with a D. So you can ask my parents about that spelling. And my business partner is Ton Trin, who was a longtime appraiser, and he's appraised over 5,000 homes, and he's definitely a real estate expert. So he's been in the field over 20 years now. Okay, so what do we do, and why do we call ourselves a complete home selling solution? So just so you know, not only do we do staging, but we also include complimentary photography, home tour video, and free social media marketing with all of our affordable packages. And we even have flyers available now. And every time you stage with us, we do have a wonderful rewards program. So you can earn points every time you stage. For every dollar, you start earning points, which you can use on all of our services. And some of you are starting to utilize our handyman service. So we just completed a nice job for Bruce Wagg over in Foster City, and you can ask him all about that. We have house cleaning and a flooring store for realtors. So you get 25 cents off per square foot, and we can install the flooring for you. And we even have a real estate document service and notary, and offer fully furnished homes if you would like to do something like that. And some of you who've been around know that we do tons of sponsorships throughout the year. So can't wait till everything gets, maybe back to normal, where we can start meeting again. But you'll see us at many, many events, and being a sponsor, because we really believe in helping you guys professionally with education and sponsoring your events. Okay, and then there's me. I'm an interior designer. I've been doing this professionally since 2005, so I've been around for a long time, and I won some design awards, and also written design articles for M Magazine, and I'm even featured in a beautiful book called Love Your Home, so that was pretty awesome. Okay, so let's ask, why do you want to stage a home? A lot of people say, oh my gosh, the market is so quick. I can sell my home. Yes, of course you can sell your home, but do you want to sell it for the highest price in the shortest amount of time? So that is the main reason that you're going to stage a home. Also, as many of you know, having a house that's staged is very important, because most of your buyers, at least 84% or more, will look on the internet first before they go see that home. So they already want to see if it's going to be something that's worth their time. So if it catches their eye by being beautifully staged, you have a higher chance of them going to see that house. Also, professional photography, is I'll show you some examples, is really key. It really shocks me that there's still some people out there that are just photographing their homes, their listings with their cell phone, and just putting it out there without professional photography. And of course, you have a lot of the overseas or out of area buyers that are going to go on the internet first to look for the home. And one of the biggest things as an interior designer that I've seen out here is that, of course, most of our clients are going to be the techies. And I've worked with techies for many years. And what I've seen is that most of them do not have a really good imagination or, for decorating the home. They also have a hard time seeing things like open floor plans, open concept floor plans where furniture is going to be floating in the room. And you wouldn't believe how many homes that I've decorated where you go in, they've lived there for a long time, and there's absolutely no furniture because they have no idea where to put it. So having everything set in like a move-in ready condition in their mind will have a lot more value and they're going to, picture themselves living in the home. So one of the major things that we do for staging is to give them a emotional connection to the home. I mean, you can't put a price tag on that. So it's very, very important. And I'll show you some examples where, that emotional connection is so important to hook them in and get them to fall in love with that listing. Okay, so here's just a really simple example. You got $2 bills here, right? They both have the same value, but which one do you think you would prefer to have, right? If you had to choose between one of these, of course, the crisp dollar bill. So kind of think of that as an analogy for a staged home, or especially an owner occupied home where they don't think they need to do anything. And, I'm going to sell my home for the highest price. And, why can't they picture their stuff in my house? They usually cannot. So this, to me, is like a really simple example. Which one are you going to choose? Something that looks a lot better. Okay, and this is a website that I just get a kick out of, and I'm sure you guys would really just enjoy this website so much. It's called terriblerealestateagentphotos.com, and this website has some of the worst photos that you've ever seen on houses that are actually on sale. So I just really get a kick out of this. But there's a lot of people that think that they can just leave the house just like these pictures and get top dollar, and we all know that's not going to happen. Okay, and then you see a lot of people with really funny collections that they think is marvelous. I'm personally kind of afraid of clowns, so that one just kind of cracked me up. But people will have some really crazy collections, and they don't think that they need to put it away. So we all have to learn how to talk to them in a gentle way. And I would suggest, if you feel uncomfortable talking to clients about putting their stuff away, let the stager be the bad guy, and we will gently let them know what to do. Okay, so here's some really important statistics, and this is pretty much the same every year. I think it's really powerful. So 40% of buyers are more willing to walk through a staged home once they've seen it online. So that is key. So really, I mean, that to me is a powerful number. And this one we have seen time and time again. If you have a house that is maybe it's not perfect, it needs a little work, a little rough around the edges, and the homeowner is not really willing to put some money into getting that house more pristine looking, this is a really powerful statistic too, because we have seen it many times. Almost a third of the buyers are more willing to overlook property faults when the home is staged. I can just give you a great example. We had staged a home that had the worst looking wallpaper you've ever seen. I mean, if you just walked into the home, you're overwhelmed by the wallpaper. But we were able to take the colors from that and work with it, put some art over some of the wallpaper, and people didn't even really pay much attention to it afterwards. So that's something that's really important to know. Okay, and this one I think really speaks to the type of buyers we have here at the Silicon Valley techies. They, over 77% of them will find it easier to visualize that property as their home once it's been staged. I think this is really, really true from my experience. Okay, and this is just a little list for you guys to look at. What is the benefit of using a professional stager over doing it yourself, or having the homeowner doing it yourself? I think one of the biggest things that you guys will probably need help with, especially when the homeowner thinks that they have really great taste. And I do find a lot of times with like the baby boomers, they've been in the house for 40 plus years. And at the time they bought the best out there, and furniture was much better quality back then. And they paid a heck of a lot of money for it, and they'll point everything out to you. Oh, and I spent a lot of money on this. This was really expensive. And they'll usually tell you the whole history about it. This is when it becomes very awkward for you as a listing agent to kind of say, well, I think it's better if we take all of it out. So let the stager do that for you. You don't have to get into that awkward conversation or sometimes end up pissing off the customer. So just be kind of cognizant about that. We can talk about it in a professional way where, you know, we are trained professionals and we know what the buyers are looking for because we do this every day. And we also, you know, specifically select the furniture and the accessories to appeal to the buyers in the market. So we have the resources and the ability to do the staging a lot faster than the homeowner too, and usually for a lot less than they think. So these are things that I think it's best to have, you know, us talk to the customer about, so you don't have to, you know, get into like a little disagreement with them. Okay, and this is a powerful statistic also that you can share with somebody that's on the fence about staging. The Real Estate Staging Association does these surveys every year, and these numbers pretty much hold true year after year. But I think the most powerful statistic you can share with your clients is that when you stage a home, it is going to be staying 90% less time on the market. And some people will try to test the market first with, you know, having the house as is and not staging it. And that's actually like a waste of money because it'll take them longer to sell it because of all the reasons that we just discussed. And then they'll say, oh my gosh, I'm not getting good offers or it's not selling that fast. Okay, now let's stage it. Well, you've maybe lost a month at that point. And a great example, we had worked with somebody you guys probably know is Charles Coachman, our very first project with him. He had a house that had a lot of negatives against it. It was a nice house, but unfortunately it was right up against the highway. And so that you had the highway noise, you had the sound wall, and it was an older home and it was unstaged, and it was on the market for about 40 days with no offers. And so Charles said to the homeowner, okay, we've tried it your way. Now let's try it my way, where I suggested that we stage it in the first place. And it sold the same day after we staged it. So these are things that the homeowner, you know, they might sell their house once every 20 years or so. So they just don't have any concept of how powerful staging is. Okay, and then here's just a simple example if they want to you think about, okay, oh my gosh, you know, staging is expensive, blah, blah, blah. Well, you can do a little simple math here. You know, you take their mortgage, their direct expenses, and find out how much they're carrying every month on that house. And if it takes, you know, 2 months to sell it, or, you know, you get the price that you don't want and you're, you know, trying to sell it, it's not moving. Think about how much it would cost over 2 months or 3 months when you could have sold it in less than a month. So whatever that number is, it's most likely a lot more than what you could have paid for the staging. Okay. All right. So I think a picture is worth 1,000 words. So if you take a look at the two top photos, you can see that there is, you know, not professional photography here. You have, you know, it's kind of dark. It's not lit well. It just doesn't look professional. If you look at the bottom photos, you can see what a difference that makes. So do not skimp on the photography. It's usually about $200. With us, it's free. So don't skimp on it. It's not worth it. Okay, and here's some examples. Before and afters always are powerful. So I always compare most of the houses today as a white box, right? There's usually not a lot of architectural features in a lot of newer homes. And if you're buying a condo and somebody's moving from an apartment, it just looks like a more expensive version of their apartment. So it's not very inspiring. So what if you staged it? Oh my gosh, look at that. What a difference, right? So you can see like staging just all of a sudden just brings this emotional reaction where people want to sit in there, relax, picture their life in that home. And also, the parties they could have, things like that. So this is where the emotional connection comes in. Okay. Okay, so I'm just making sure. I just saw some notes come by. I just want to make sure everybody can see it. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go to the next one. Okay. Oh, okay, this one, we actually won an award for this one. Okay, so this was a $5 million home. And when you look at a picture like this, it sure doesn't feel like a $5 million home, right? It's kind of boring, and there's not a ton of features here. But look what a difference it makes just to have the staging in there. So all of a sudden, it feels more rich. Okay, another kind of boring room. And all of a sudden just comes to life. Let's see if somebody has a question here. Okay, thank you. All right, now you see a lot of people live like this every day. And we have some nice touches of red here. And then this is kind of a scary room. This is, I'd say, your typical teenage boy room. And look how cute that could be. Okay, now here's a great example of the baby boomers that have actually very nice furniture. It's in great shape, and they were really insistent on using their furniture for the staging. But after, gently talking to them, they said, okay, let's do it your way. And we have a much more updated look here. And look at that professional photography. What a difference it makes. I mean, when you see a picture like this, that's with my phone camera. It looks very dark, old, but it just really comes to life with the proper lighting. And this is a different view here. And they really love that sofa. And it was a pretty cool sofa, but most of the folks out here aren't buying sofas like that anymore. So it's a huge difference, right? When you have up-to-date furniture and colors. Okay, there's Grandma. Grandma is not for sale. Just want to let you know she does not come with a house. And take a look at those curtains there. Those curtains are, not custom, so they don't really fit the windows very well. And they kept saying, oh, we really want to keep the curtains. I said, no, please take them down. You won't regret it. And so they finally relented and they took them down. And when we staged it, look at the difference, right? It's light, bright, and airy. Those are the key words for staging, light, bright, and airy. And they didn't even recognize their house anymore after we got through with it. Okay, so a lot of you will be working with contractors to get the house ready for sale. So this part may be like one of the most challenging parts to getting the project done because there's so much you cannot control. And there's usually like 4 or 5 vendors in there at the same time. And it becomes really confusing. So I'm going to check the chat here to see if anybody has any questions. Okay. How much time does it take to clean up the messes? Oh my gosh. Well, okay, the clutter and stuff, we can do dumping if you want. Okay, so we definitely need for the homeowners to make sure they take their valuables with them, and don't ask this, your vendors to take care of the valuables. I think that's just a pretty bad idea. So just make sure you take your valuables with you and then just put it on one place, and we could actually get rid of it pretty quick and also do the house cleaning for you. Okay, let's do the next one. All right, so I got some do's and don'ts here for getting the project done on time at the best price. So if you could find a vendor that can do multiple jobs for you, that is going to save you so much headache. Because think about it, like you guys should not be spending tons of time doing this stuff. I think because you guys aren't even paid till the end, and I know you work so hard, and the customer thinks that you're not only their general contractor, their realtor, but they also think of you as their psychiatrist, their marriage counselor, therapist, and that takes a toll on you. So if you can find some vendors that you feel are trustworthy, it's going to really, really save you a lot of headaches, and it would free you up to do the things that make you money. So we call them, I had a coach and we call them amazing money making activities. So you should be focusing on things that bring you the income, such as networking, meeting with clients, meeting with potential buyers, doing your marketing and sales, instead of dealing with all this little stuff that doesn't make you money. Okay, so I think it'd be very good if you can find a contractor who can do multiple parts of the job for you. And when you can give them a little, ask for a little incentive. Hey, if I give you all of these small jobs, then it adds up to a big job. Can I get a discount? And I think that most of them will be very willing to give you a discount if they can get the whole project. What I think is not the best idea is they always ask for line items. Oh, can you separate this out by line items? And usually contractors think of the whole job, so they don't really price it that way. But if you ask for like line items and say, okay, well, I can save $200 on this one, and this other guy will, charge me $300 less on this other part, and then you think like you can, put all those little parts together. What you'll probably find is most of them will not take the project because you've taken out all the big stuff, and then just have this little part that's left. So you might find they, number one, will not take the job, or if you only want that one little thing to do, the price is going to be much higher than what they quoted as part of a bigger job. So just kind of keep that in mind. Also, what I've seen realtors do when they're working with a lot of different contractors, it is a complete nightmare for them to coordinate everybody because you're not aware of everybody's schedules. And also, a lot of the contractors will not want to work when there's another contractor in the house at the same time. So then your whole project will be delayed. So just keep that in mind. It's better to work with one person and try to, get everything done at once because somebody's already in charge of the whole schedule. So we've seen this many times already. And then another way to prevent your project from going over in terms of money as well as time is please try not to add new things to do during the middle of the project, because that just kind of throws everything off, or make changes or major changes. So just be very careful of that. And keep in mind, like with contractors, if you end up deleting, saying you want to get rid of part of the project in the middle of the project, keep in mind they may have already spent the money to get the staff, to get the materials, and then putting together the time frame to get your project done, and saying no to somebody else. So you may not really get any benefit from taking out things to save money, because they've already spent the money. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. And then this is something that I've seen before, where sometimes the realtor is a little overzealous and they want to micromanage everything. Okay, so, and then they complain and say, these contractors are just starting to give me these exorbitant high charges what's going on, or they're never available anymore. Just be cognizant that maybe they're charging like the high price because they call it the PETA charge, which a lot of us in the home improvement world know of. And I'm wondering if you guys ever heard of that. The PETA charge is actually the pain in the ass charge. So they charge more because they think that this person is difficult to work with or is going to take a lot of time and energy. So they need to charge a little more to make up for that. So just kind of keep that in mind, that you do not normally need to micromanage your contractors, as long as you know that they're somebody you can trust, and get some referrals, right? Know that these are reliable people and that most of them are professionals. So just kind of keep that in mind. And then one of the things that nobody likes to see is sometimes when you uncover something after to make the change, there may be some hidden issues that nobody can be prepared for. So it may add to your project in terms of cost and also time. So those are some of the things, like your do's and don'ts and things to be aware of when you're working on, like getting the house ready for sale. Okay. All right. So we'll talk about the first impression. Usually the first impression to me is like when they step out of their car and they see that house for the first time. So here's some fun facts that the Real Estate Staging Association came up with. Popular door colors. So the number one most popular door color is red. And I think it's always really good to make sure that you can see where the front door is from the street, because there's some houses that I've visited where I am not even clear where the front door is. So you want to make it pretty obvious. Okay. And black looks really amazing. Very sophisticated color. My favorite color is blue. And they say don't do purple. So I have not seen any purple doors so far. But that's definitely what you call a very personal color. And the point of staging is to attract the most number of people as possible. So you're trying to do something that's not very specific to one person's taste. You're trying to appeal to everybody. So that's something to keep in mind where you're choosing colors for the home. Okay, and then this is like an outdoor checklist for you guys. So, and we'll be sharing this presentation with you, so you don't have to take any notes or anything. So you can, take a look at this list and make sure everything's set for your outdoors. And to me, like the most amazing thing that you can do for your yard is just get some inexpensive mulch to put in all the areas that have just dirt showing. Your plant beds. So you wouldn't believe how much just an inexpensive bag of mulch will elevate the whole look and make it look like you just did some fresh landscaping, which you could put into your selling description, new landscaping. And it's like, less than $4 a bag. So it goes a long way too. So here's an example, like when's best to use red mulch. So I like to look at the entire surrounding of the house and the finishes. So if you have like a Mediterranean home or like mission style home, this kind of Spanish look, which so many houses have here, and you see red finishes, like there's brick, there's terracotta, there's a cherry wood, the reddish, yellow, orangey colors in the granite, and maybe the paint colors. The red mulch looks amazing with it. And I just have an example. I'll go into this in a little more detail. These are my paint colors I use a lot for my projects that are pretty neutral. Okay, look at this house. So nobody had lived in this humongous house. It's about 8,000 square feet. And they just put the mulch down, and it was kind of neglected for a while. And they just put the new mulch down, and it just looked like brand new landscaping. I mean, there was a lot of dead stuff there, but you really can't tell once you get the mulch on. And this house too, this is another house. This is about, I think this one was about 7,000 square feet. And nobody had lived in this house either for a few years. And we just said, hey, you need to put some mulch down because like all the landscaping was dying here. And once they put it on, it just looked amazing. It looked brand new. You can see here, there's hardly any plants left alive here, but you really can't tell. And this one, I thought this looked great. This is actually the black mulch. I think for a little more contemporary style house, the black mulch looks amazing. So when do I use the black mulch? I like it when I have cool colors, such as the slate, the grays, which are super popular, black colors, darker woods, walnut. I think those are all really great. It can work with either the dark brown mulch or the black mulch. Okay, see, somebody might have a question here. Okay. All right. So here's an example. Look at this. So they got the glossy black door, the black shutters to match, and the black mulch and the gray. So it looks so good together. I think the black mulch especially looks great when you have succulents like this and you have purple flowers or white flowers. I mean, it just looks really crisp and it looks really contemporary. So that's when I suggest using the black mulch. Okay, now here's some really simple and beautiful improvements that you can make that don't cost a lot of money, but will really, really make a big difference. So my number one thing is paint. I suggest that you paint the house. Even if you live in a house for a few years, there's always scuffs everywhere. Let me talk to you a little bit about touch-up painting. There's a lot of customers that think that they can save some money by just touching up the paint. Unless it's pretty new paint job and they just need to touch it up, that's usually not an issue. But when you've lived in the house for a few years, and maybe there's a lot of sun, the colors tend to change a little bit. So even if you use the same color paint that you used before, or say you went and bought a new batch of paint, it's pretty much guaranteed it's not going to match that well. So what you'll see is a wall and a bunch of little splotches of color all over it. And I never recommend it. It looks terrible. So if you see a wall that has some issues, just paint that entire wall. I think that's the best thing to do. So I really love these colors. I think they work great. More medium tones. The Swiss coffee I use for the ceilings, the baseboards, any trims, interior doors. It is the perfect white color. And I have done probably hundreds and hundreds of paint consultations throughout the years. And I don't see that there's a more perfect white paint for those areas than Swiss coffee from Keller. Now, if you like a little more of a grayish tone and you have some more cool colors in the home, I do like the Malibu beige from Keller for all your walls. So I would do one wall color throughout the entire house. This is not the time for accent walls or choosing your favorite paint colors, because what we really want to do is choose neutral colors so that the potential buyers can picture all their furnishings in that house. So don't go crazy on paint colors when you're doing this. So what I like about Malibu beige is it's a gray beige color or a taupe color. It works really well because it has some elements of warm and cool colors, so it's a nice neutral. And then Snip of Tannin is a really nice soft beige color. This looks really nice too. And we've been using Featherstone from Keller as well. That's a nice color. And then we've done a few houses with a color called Yang Mist, which is more of a very light color with just a little hint of yellow in it. So just make sure that you do one color throughout, and don't do the touch-up stuff if you can avoid it. Okay, and now flooring. So we have a flooring store, And our number one seller is the SPC flooring. So what does SPC stand for? Stone Plastic Composite. So it's a luxury vinyl. So this has got the latest technology, and it is set to replace laminate flooring. So a lot of people use laminate flooring for many years, but there's some issues with it where it's loud, which is what the most complaint is. So this, I think, is hands down the best product because it looks a lot like wood. It's even got the texture, so it's incredibly realistic. I mean, a lot of people have to just kind of bend down and touch it just to see if it's real wood or not. It's very hard to tell. They even have some that look like stone. Okay, let's see. There's a question here. Okay. Yes, so I will have a copy of the presentation for everybody. Okay, so this product I think is really great because it's super family friendly. It is well priced. Typically for us, we don't sell the cheapest stuff. So we work with a guy that's been in the flooring business for 40 years who helped us select everything in our store. And one of the major things we told him when we were selecting the products is we want things that are good quality and will not get the realtor in trouble. So these are well-known brands as well as very reliable companies that we work with. And they have very good quality products with good warranties. And they're well priced. So, and most of them are fairly local. So a lot of times we can get things pretty quickly. So you guys get 25 cents off per square foot. Okay. One of the main things that people really love about SPC is it's quiet. So if you have somebody in a condo and they're like, oh, I'd really love to have hardwood floors or, hard floor instead of carpet. Well, your homeowners association may approve this flooring because there's actually scientific proof on how loud it is, and it usually fits their requirements for the sound quality of the flooring. So it's actually a very quiet floor because there's like a little cushioning underneath it. Another thing that people really love is it's actually 100% waterproof. Most laminates are not waterproof, and there are some new ones that say they're waterproof, but you have to do a lot of extra work to make sure that it's sealed properly so that water cannot get into it. But this actual product is 100% waterproof. It's also a commercial grade, so you can even use these things in an airport. Think about how much foot traffic there is in an airport. They're very durable and they're stain and scratch resistant and an easy, fast installation. So a lot of times you can just put this right on top of the flooring that you have currently. Okay, but the flooring does have to be straight to work on that. Okay, so let me show you some examples of this stuff. So we just did this project. We did all the paint and removed all the old window treatments and put in this beautiful new flooring. I mean, look how realistic this looks. So you see this color here. You guys have probably seen the really gray colors for the last 5 years or so, and I thought that was really beautiful, but not everybody loved it. So I think this is a really happy kind of medium where it's got a little bit of gray in it, but it has a little bit of that yellow tone. So one of the trends in flooring is to have more of a natural look and a matte finish, not a shiny finish to the floors with just a little hint of gray. So I thought this is really lovely. So we just finished installing this, and this house is going to go on the market really soon in San Jose. Okay. And here's another thing. I think there's one thing that really, really dates a house is usually the light fixtures. You can see clearly what time frame some houses are, and just by looking at the chandeliers and the light fixtures in the bathrooms and entryway, I say, oh wow, that's an old house. This is such an easy fix. I mean, like these chandeliers, maybe 150, 175 to 300 bucks, depending on what size you need. These hall lights, 30 bucks, 25 bucks. It's so inexpensive. I mean, I would really, really highly suggest you take the time to change out the light fixtures. And then also, I think another way to make the house look really, really professional is to use one finish all the way through, from the front door where you have your house numbers and your lock, to your entry chandelier. The bathrooms use one color finish all the way through. And that even includes all your interior doorknobs and even the hinges on the interior doors, and all your faucets. So you wouldn't believe how nice that looks when it's all done. So for that house I just showed you, we're using all black finish, like a matte black finish, which is really cool. It kind of gives us a little bit of a farmhouse look, but also a little bit of a modern edge to it. So every single thing we did was the black matte finish. So I can't wait to see the finished product. Okay, and then also, now some people like scream when you say gold is in style, but it's actually more of a softer gold. And also we're seeing some of the brass colors coming back too, but not the shiny, really yellow color that you've seen back in the 80s or 90s. So this has a different look, but you definitely want to do one finish all the way through, and it's a really subtle thing, but it just, when you see it in action, you'll be like, wow, everything, the house looks new again. And then here's a new one. I think it looks so amazing when you paint old cabinets like this. I mean, when you look at this, it just looks so old, right? It looks very, very dated. Here's the same kitchen with all the cabinets painted. I mean, it's such a big difference. And then I would spend a little extra money to put the pulls in. See these little drawer pulls, just a few bucks each, totally worth it. What a difference, right? So go for that light, bright, and airy in the kitchen also. White kitchens to me will never go out of style, and they're very neutral. Everybody likes a white kitchen. So you can do knobs, or you can do these pulls, very inexpensive. And then here's a little handy thing I found online about where to put the knobs and pulls, like how far off you need to put them and the placement of them. Okay, look how inexpensive this is, like $2.50, $5, and you can sometimes find even less expensive stuff than that. Okay, so if you have a need for some kind of home improvement expert, we even have a website that we're working on and always adding and deleting. So it's called quicktest365.com. And this is a K, but just quick, not CK, just a K. And we just compiled a bunch of vendors that you guys have recommended to us. So we don't have any affiliation with them, but these are people that have been vetted by your peers. And if you find that some of them are not doing a good job for you, then we'll just take them off the list. But they were all recommended to us from you guys. I want to show you an example. When you bring everything together, having a consistent color and style throughout the house, it just, all those little things I talked about just creates magic. So this is that humongous house that we staged a few years back. And note that we got to do what we call a transitional style. And you see how we have color accents all the way through. And we have a similar transitional style, which is not too contemporary, not too traditional, but a classic look. And we found that this is the #1 design style of people in Silicon Valley. And when I did a lot of custom interior design work, this was the style that appealed to all my clients. So one or two people might like contemporary, but very few people want really contemporary styles. Or on the flip side, they don't want really traditional. Okay. All right, and then you can see the kitchen, and look, they even have a bar in their family room. But you see how we took those color touches all the way through, even into the bedroom and the exterior. And look at this. This is so dated, right? This kind of 80s look. But when you take the color all together, it looks like you did everything very intentionally. Okay, and here's another house using some like gold. I know a lot of people are still very weary about gold, and you know, they spent a lot of time and money trying to get rid of it, but now it's coming back. So I always tell people that I think trends are actually like a conspiracy, because you know, you go shopping and you see in every store everybody's got the same colors, same styles. It really is a conspiracy, because there's groups like Pantone, the color marketing group, where industry professionals get together and they decide what the color trends and styles are for the year. So that it really is a conspiracy. So here, look how amazing this looks with the gold accents. And you can mix and match metals. As you can see, there's some stainless steel here too, but it works. So I just thought this was so pretty with these little gold accents. And so we brought some gold accents too. A little gold right here. And some gold touches, and even in the art and the lighting. And check this out. I like this. It's what you call mixed media, where you're using two different materials. So you have the ceramic tiles and the little metal gold accents. I thought that was so cute. And the gold handles here. And in the bedroom. Okay, so that's pretty cool, huh? So I'll bet some of you might start liking gold again. I actually like it. Okay, so here's a little bit about our rewards program. So every time you spend $1 with us, you get 1 point. And every time you accumulate 750 points, you get $25 off on every product and every service that we offer. So that could be staging, house cleaning, handyman service, or the flooring store. And then if you refer one of your friends to us and they go with us, you also get 750 points. And let me tell you, some people add up really fast because they refer us left and right. Okay. And here's our contact information. So Nikki Tang is our Director of Operations. She'll also be your project manager for any home improvement handyman jobs. And then you can see we're very active on social media, especially Instagram, which is way too much fun. So we're always on you know, the different social media out there. And please connect with us, because it's a lot of fun that we can all be together on there and supporting each other. Okay, so if anybody have any questions? You guys find any takeaways that was especially helpful for your business? Anything else that you would like to see in a future presentation?
Hi, Laura. I got a question. So as a new realtor, I think it saves a lot of time to partner with a contractor for staging. Then,
Yes.
but still, I would have some time to do some of my own study. Is there any like places that you would recommend for a new realtor to maybe window shopping a little bit to get to know all those materials like flooring, light fixture, Yeah. Well, what I know, because I come from China, so the only thing I know is Home Depot. And
Uh-huh.
I don't see that many modern thing that you show in your today's presentation. So.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, well, I think that surprisingly, Lamps Plus has some really, really great lighting fixtures. And most of us are very frustrated working with Home Depot, right? There's like usually nobody to help you, and they're not very knowledgeable, and they don't really have a great attitude. So I found like Lamps Plus actually has some very helpful people. They might have some a little more interesting designs available. And also they have some really great sales. Like sometimes they have their display items that are for sale and you can really nab a good deal. So I've had some pretty good luck working with them. And of course, I've been a designer for many years, so there are things that I can have access to that are wholesale only.
Oh, nice. Can you say that name again? Is there any
Oh yeah, it's
store?
called Lamps Plus. It's a
Oh,
chain.
go.
There's one on Stevens Creek. There's also one in Blossom Hill that I know of.
Awesome. Thank you, Dora.
Hi, this
Yep.
is Dosha. I had a question.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like for a typical 1100 square foot home, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, what would be like average cost of staging?
Yeah, so we created some very, very well-priced, affordable staging packages. So we do it by square footage, and then we include the things that are, most popular. You can definitely customize it if you want, but for most people, the packages work really good. So we have one for under 1,500 square feet, which is our package A, which includes your living room, dining room, master bedroom, and up to 2 kids' bedrooms, or you can switch one for the office. We usually give you a free outdoor staging set. And we also do free photography, home tour video, free social media marketing. Decorate the kitchen, halls, and the bathrooms. So basically, for that home, pretty much everything's done. And that is $18.99 for 1 month, and we have a bonus of 2 free weeks, so $18.99 for 6 weeks. So
Oh,
that's
wow.
our starting package. And I do know that there's a lot of stagers out there charging $3,000 for that
Yeah,
package, and that you still have to get the photography on top of it.
yeah.
Um, so
I've done
we're
that.
very efficient.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
done
we're
that. That's why I'm asking. And also, such nice presentation you did. Would you
thank
be
you.
able to share that with us? Very,
Absolutely.
okay.
I'm going to share it as a PDF so that you can
Yes,
download it because
of
it's
course.
next to impossible to download this PowerPoint.
Okay, will you like send it afterwards? You have our emails and all, or we can just
Yeah,
email you?
I could send it to Olivia and then she could forward it to you guys.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you
Yeah.
so
Hmm.
much. Really enjoyed
Oh,
this.
and then somebody asked if you call me or Nikki. So usually to get start out with, you can always call me because I'm usually the person that meets with everybody. And then after you work with us for a while, people start getting to know Nikki. You can always call Nikki as well. Um, so we are very fast and efficient with things. So if you're really busy, one of the easiest things to do is just let us know what the lockbox combination is, and we'll swing by and take a look at the house and take some photos, and then be able to give you a price. So it's actually very easy to work with us. So we're very fast. We do everything very professionally. And Nikki will also, set up your photographer. So usually the day after we stage it, the photographer comes in, and then you'll get your photos within 24 hours. You usually get your video either the same day or within 48 hours. And then if you decide to get some flyers from us, you get those within 72 hours. So, we got everything lined up, ready to go for you. So it just kind of makes everything easy. So what do you guys think about the gold colors? Did you like Do you like those colors of the brass that's coming back in? I'm just
Yeah.
kind of
Hi,
curious.
Thora.
Hi.
Hey, I'm driving, so I have my GPS on. I don't want to interfere, but I do have 2 condos that I would like your help with to stage. I will like to, how can I set up a meeting?
Okay.
For me to look at the stuff. Can I call you like tomorrow and then we can set up a time?
Absolutely. You guys can always call or text me pretty much anytime. I'm kind of a night owl, so usually if I'm awake, I'll answer back. You can email me, whatever works best for you. And usually like, with condos and 3-story homes, we do charge a little bit more because they usually have a long distance. So we kind of have to assess that in the pricing. But yeah, usually very, about $200. If it's really, really far, then we have to kind of assess that.
Yeah, the property one is in Newark and the other one is going to be in Fremont. So that's the
Okay.
location, but yeah, but they
Yep.
are 2-story to 2 to 3-story, 3-level, 3-level, they're like townhome style condos.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. So we're definitely done tons of condos and townhomes. We've been in business for 6 years now, and we've stayed over 2,000 homes. So we've seen pretty much everything. It's pretty interesting. I saw a really big house yesterday, and I saw it was the biggest master bedroom and bathroom I ever seen in my life. I couldn't believe how big it was. It was like almost like 3 bedrooms in one. So that one was interesting. But we've pretty much seen everything out here.
Great, I'll contact you tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Anything else you like to learn about?
All right, this is Virginia. I just want to thank you for your presentation.
Oh, my pleasure.
Always do a fantastic job, and your services are so great. I'm so happy I used you at that last condo I had
Yay.
on the market.
And just a FYI for you guys, if you are looking to grow your business, looking for more customers, please feel free to reach out to me. I actually have a sales and marketing background. So I worked in the restaurant business originally. So I trained a lot of servers. It was all about sales. And so I was a manager in my past life. And then I also worked in tech as a salesperson. I did the new business sales. I did the marketing. So I have a pretty strong background in sales and marketing. And one of the things that I'd like to offer you guys, which I mentioned to Olivia and Stacy, is doing a wine and design night. I think those are so much fun. This is where you would have an opportunity to possibly grow your client base, find new clients, or even just do it as a client appreciation night where, and in those kind of cases, you're going to get more clients too. So you can, for about $400, where you put it towards food and wine or beverages, you can usually feed about 40 people. And so I can get all the food for you. You can just reimburse me. And I do this complimentary to help you build your business, because if you're successful, that means we're successful. And it's actually a really fun night where you can get a community room. We could be at a listing that we stage for you, or maybe even use your office there at Santa Clara Valley, and have it kind of like a high-end wine and design night. And I would do a really fun presentation based on that book that I am featured in, where you see some really inspiring high-end before and after makeovers. And it just starts making people think about their home and maybe, oh my gosh, maybe it's time for me to move up. Maybe it's time for me to get something better. or maybe I don't have my first home yet. This is something I aspire to. So it gets them in the mindset of having a beautiful home for themselves. And then you can talk about your training, how you're an expert in real estate, and that neighborhood really well. Something that shows off your expertise as well as your personality, that you're a nice person, that they can trust to have the biggest transaction of their life, and put their trust in you, especially if you're a brand new person. It really works. And so we do a beautiful design presentation. I usually do a really silly quiz at the beginning to ask people like what their design style is, and they take a little quiz, and then it spits out what their style is at the end. And it usually gets everybody talking, and everybody's breaks the ice, and everybody's having a great time. And by the end, you will probably get some new customers. One realtor that I did the presentation with got 3 listings out of it. So it's worth every penny, and you have a fun evening, and you really get your potential clients to like you, respect you, and trust you. So it's really worth it. So usually it's a few hours, and we just all have such a great time at it. It doesn't cost a lot of money. One thing that I thought was so clever that the real estate agent did, he went to Guglielmo Winery in Morgan Hill, and he asked for bottles of their wine that were unlabeled, and they were $6 each. And then he put his own label on there, and then he gave that away as a gift. And everybody thought they were getting this really high-end, really cool gift. And it was just the thought that counted, really. But it just looked very high-end, and people were so appreciative. And it was just such a perfect evening. And he got three listings out of it. So I think it works really well, especially if you're brand new at this. So if you're interested, and once things open up again, I am more than happy to help you with an event like that. And it could be a grand opening too. If you're a brand new realtor, you can use that as your grand opening.
Yeah, good idea.
Mm-hmm. And I actually got this idea from the company I used to be with. It was called Decorating Den Interiors, which is a franchise for interior design. And I was with them for almost 15 years. And I was a regional manager for Northern California. And we were all required as franchise owners, when you open up your business, to have a grand opening. And so I just use that format. And let me tell you, that is how you kick off your business. With 365 Staging, we had a huge grand opening. We had 150 plus people at our grand opening, and we have been very busy ever since. So let me tell you, it really works. Anybody else have any questions?
Thora, I just got a quick one. So like some of my friends, they are homeowner. Right now, they are not want to sell the house, but they always have the question like, if one day I ask your help to help me sell their house, what would they do with their old furniture? So they do not have a second house. They what will you recommend them? Should I tell them to go to rent a storage or put everything in a garage? So what is the...
Yeah. Yes, so this happens quite often. And what we would do is first walk through the house to see what we can keep and what should go away. So a lot of people end up putting everything into the garage, and that is okay. I mean, people walking through to buy the house will understand that, if the homeowner is still living there, they need to put their stuff somewhere. So just put it in the garage, but make sure you can, kind of walk around the perimeter of the garage. And then the other thing that a lot of people like to do is get a pod, and you can hire some guys to load the pod for you. And you guys probably know DNL Movers. I know the owner really well, He's really awesome. His name's Drew Sanchez. They're the best movers around, and you can hire their guys for a minimum of, I think, 2 hours for around $400 to professionally move your stuff into the garage or into the pod. And then they can move cross country for you as well, but they really know how to do everything right. So we just get rave reviews on that. So you can, put everything in a pod. Some of them, those pods can be removed by that pod company and put into storage, and you keep the key so that nobody else can get into it. But yeah, what I find a lot of times with owner occupied homes is the majority of the stuff really needs to go. And usually we just leave the beds for them.
Okay, got it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm,
thank you.
mm-hmm, absolutely.
I also have a question. So do you offer like clutter, helping the sellers or owners get rid of their clutter? You shared a photo that had all kinds of stuff, junk in
Yes.
the home, and you offer those services, or is that left up to
Yeah.
the owner? Yeah.
Yeah, so there's actually professional organizers out there that are just amazing. I worked with a lady named Kate Souza for many years. Her company's called Project Clutter, and she is really, really the best. And she's really good because a lot of times people become so attached to their stuff. And she can actually talk them through everything. And okay, do you really use this? Okay, no, I don't. And then she can help them remove it. She can even pack their valuables. So she's really good at packing that stuff as well. But she can really, really move the process along, make it really fast and efficient. She's very professional. And this, I know this is not her favorite kind of project, but if she has worked with the people that are like hoarders, that kind of have some, mental issues, unfortunately, and they cannot throw things away. She has a social worker background, so she really knows how to work with people and kind of walk them through it and make them feel comfortable and not threatened when they try to remove things, because sometimes with the hoarders, they're very difficult to work with.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I have a
absolutely.
question. You were saying that, you have a presentation, or we could do like a presentation with new clients, things like that.
Yeah.
Do you have a presentation that we could like maybe put out there for a new farm area? Say, come to our Zoom meeting, that kind of thing. And for those who attend it, get a free estimate, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Presented by you or you and an agent, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think we
Is there
could do
a fee for
something
that?
like, oh yeah, I'm very open to doing, some custom stuff with you. Like one of my ideas, and nobody's taken me up on this one yet, but I think it would be good, like you have a, like a home seller seminar and have different vendors there that, help with the process, like home inspectors, and then people like us that can talk about how to prepare the home for sale. So I would take some of the elements of the Staging 101 class and kind of have it more for the seller's perspective. So I think it could be like a really great event.
Can this be done as a Zoom presentation?
Oh yeah.
Instead of because people are not going to be able to go to an event.
Yeah, absolutely. So
and how would we? And we
open.
could get. And if we had their email, we could give them something or give them a prize for coming, door prize for coming.
Absolutely. So I have several boxes of that beautiful book that I mentioned called Love Your Home. It's a coffee table book worth $40. And we can use that as a raffle. And then any other partners that you have, and like Olivia and Stacy have put together a wonderful group of vendors for you guys. You should have all of us involved, because kind of think about it like we're your team. So when somebody says, oh, hey, maybe you're a new realtor, or I don't know you, what can you do for me? You say, well, I not only do you have me, the expert on real estate, but I have a whole group of people that have been, selected by my company that are trustworthy and they're professionals, and they can help you with this whole process. There's a lot of instant trust on that, and then you can have all of us do a little presentation on how we can help the home sellers and make the process very easy and stress-free, and show the value that you bring to them by having this team. So yeah, I'm more than happy to do something like that. Maybe we can all get together and talk about how to put that presentation together. But I'm totally open to everything.
Okay, great. I'll talk to you offline later then.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. So, I want to make that available to anybody that's interested. So have you guys had a chance to work with some of the vendors that are on your preferred vendor program? Because I know that, there's some really good companies that are involved. I think you guys have like title companies. I believe BR Squad is one of your vendors. So they have really great photography. Probably Home Inspector. I'm not sure who all the partners are, but yeah, and then you could ask Stacy and Olivia, who's on that vendor list. I believe like when you first join the company, you guys get a folder with everybody's information on. So I think that would be like the first people you want to reach out to put together like a home seller program.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. Any other questions or any ideas that you guys like to see in a future program? So I'll be talking about some really cool design trends coming up soon in November. And usually when you have design trends, it lasts a lot longer than fashion trends, which are usually 1 to 2 years. With design trends, it usually lasts about 10 years. So if you like something that I show you, it'll probably be good for a while.
Yeah, we like that. I especially favor you share us a lot of your either your work sample or the sample that you've learned from elsewhere. I think it's very self-evident when we look at those pictures, and yeah, it may be some trends about those new constructions these days. What materials are they like to use, and why they choose all those very tech savvy like furniture or appliances.
Absolutely, that's great. Yeah, and I'm definitely seeing some interesting stuff like we call it mixed media, when you're mixing materials. Even in the kitchen, we did a staging for a really big house. I think it was almost 5,000 square feet, and it had 3 different materials in the kitchen. They had like 2 different painted cabinets, different colored painted cabinets, and then real wood, like a stained wood. And it was really interesting how it looked together. And then they used some of the brass colored lighting fixtures. And I thought, wow, that looks fantastic. So you can definitely mix and match things. And I think things are getting really casual and not quite as formal as you may have seen in the past. So yeah, it's very interesting, and definitely the materials are gearing towards, I think, more user-friendly, like the SPC flooring. And of course, the countertops is the number one is quartz because it's the ease of taking care of it, the durability. things like that. So yeah, there's definitely some trends going on, and we'll be touching about all of those things.
Thank you so much, Thora.
Yeah.
Awesome. I also noticed a trend, like right now, everybody likes those quartz countertop,
Mhm.
while 10 years ago, everything is granite. And maybe
Mhm.
20 years ago, people use tiles. So
Mhm.
yeah, I can easily tell like the house rough year just by looking at the
Yes.
kitchen.
Yes, absolutely. And like we mentioned, the light fixtures usually give it away pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think almost in every case, you can just spend a little money to make a huge difference. It's totally worth the time to do it. I think that with the techies out there, most of them have never lifted a hammer in their life. A lot of them are not handy and doing any kind of projects. And I call that the $10,000 effect, where they feel like if they see some kind of home improvement project that could have been done, they'll start taking on big chunks off your price, and make $10,000 at a time, because they have no idea how much it costs to actually do the project. So oh my God, that looks so expensive. Oh my God, I don't know how to do it. That must be kind of hard. So I'm just going to take this big chunk off off the price that I'm going to bid to your house. And we don't want that, because maybe it only costs you a couple $100 to fix it. So there's definitely a lot of value in a move-in ready house. So I think that should be the goal, as long as your homeowner is willing to do it. Just make it as move-in ready as possible, where there's no excuse for them to say, oh, I don't think I should pay full price for this house. I don't think I need to bid more for this house. You want them asking for more, right?
Another thing is the clients don't want to put a whole bunch of money up front. Can they have this billed through escrow at the close of escrow, or is it something like that?
Yeah. So
how does that work?
Yeah. So currently we take 50% down generally, and then the balance is due once the project is done and the final walkthrough is approved. But there are companies out there like Zoom Casa that is like a middleman, and they actually will work with us directly and work with your client to have the payment at close of escrow. Of course, there are fees involved. So, but there are definitely people taking advantage of that if they don't have any cash up front, and the only way they could pay for it is when they sell the house. So the great thing about it is we get paid just like normal, and then you guys can pay at close of escrow. Yeah, so I don't know if they're the only company that does that, but they're definitely the most well-known, and a lot of stagers use that company. And also they do the home improvement, the remodeling as well, so that you can pay at close of escrow.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, well, I think that kind of wraps it up. And I will go ahead and send Olivia and Stacy the presentation so that it can be distributed. But feel free to contact me anytime. Text me, call me, email. I'm always very open. So, I'd love to work with you. I'd love to help you out with anything you need. If you need any, help with sales or marketing ideas, I'm totally into stuff like that. So I'm more than happy to help out. Okay. Thank you so much. And yes, Nancy, I'll send everything to the ladies, and they can distribute to all of you guys. Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. This is a lot of fun. And I'm always here to help you guys if you need anything. Okay.
Yeah,
All
sure.
right.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Thora.
Thank you. All right. Oh, and I might see you when I stock up the snacks too. So I try to come in once a week to, put in the snacks in your kitchen.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll see you guys.
Bye.
Thank you. So Nancy, I'll send this to you too, since you're not in this office. And it's kw.com. All right. Thank you.